I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again.
Move or I'll shoot.
Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Hey, what's going on guys? Nost here. Hari ini kita lanjut lagi Tales of Arise. Jadi di part kemarin kita udah keluar dari The Wedge, tapi karena masih ada sedikit astral energy yang ketransfer ke Lenegis, jadi sekarang rencananya kita bakal menuju ke Lenegisnya untuk ngancurin The Wedge itu dari sumbernya. Terakhir kita menuju ke Berg Volcano karena kita dapat informasi kalau ternyata ada pesawat bekas si Alphen yang dulu dia pakai untuk balik ke Dahna. Sekarang langsung aja kita lanjut ke area berikutnya ya. Ini kemarin di sini kita ngelawan bos golem api guys. Itu kayaknya bos yang terbesar yang pernah kita lawan ya, dan kayaknya bakal jadi yang paling besar juga nih. Ini kita lanjut ke area berikutnya. Tanda tanya nih pasti ya. Oke guys, kita udah keluar dari Berg Volcano-nya ternyata.
Hey, is that it over there?
Nah, ini guys ya pesawatnya nih. Oh, saking lamanya udah ditinggalin, si pesawatnya itu sampai ditumbuhin tanaman guys. Ini gue ragu pesawatnya masih berfungsi atau enggak gitu ya.
Did you remember something?
Did you remember something?
No, but
I have seen
I
this
have
starship
seen this
before ya.
starship before.
Jadi si Alphen ini pernah ngeliat pesawat ini sebelumnya nih. By the way, gue mau kasih tau juga guys, gue udah upgrade semua weapon dari karakter kita sama semua armornya guys. Jadi harus kita sekarang lebih kuat lagi nih. Nah, masih nyala tapi ya.
3 centuries later,
3 centuries
it's no worse
later
for wear.
and it's no worse
I'll take a
for
look at the
wear.
internals.
Oke, jadi si Dohalim bakal ngecek internal si pesawatnya ini.
Damn, I'm amazed it still works at all after all
Jelas ya
this time.
teknologinya berarti setelah lama terus ditumbuhin tanaman tapi si pesawatnya masih berfungsi guys.
I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
Widih, canggih banget.
How's it look?
How's it look?
It should fly.
It
All
should
internal
fly, okay.
systems seem to be
All internal
operating.
systems.
However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some
Oh,
time
jadi
before
ini
it's ready
tetap
for
bisa terbang
takeoff.
si pesawatnya, tapi
How
butuh
much
waktu
time are we
guys karena
talking here?
udah lama
Starship
banget dia
mechanics are not what I'd call my
nggak
forte,
dinyalain
so
ya.
I'd rather not hazard a
Dipanasin dulu nih.
guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Oke.
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too
Let's
long.
try not to stay away too
I'd
long.
hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either
Mungkin
we
kita bakal
race ahead,
preparasi
or we
dulu
take
guys,
due
persiapan
precaution to
dulu ya.
ensure we have no
Sebelum
regrets.
kita pergi ke
I
Lenegis,
shall leave it up
mungkin
to
gua
you
bakal
as to
beli
how we
semua potion
proceed,
yang ada
Alphen.
sih. Takutnya di sana
Works
nggak bisa
for
beli
me.
apa-apa ya. Nah, kita nunggu di sini ya sambil apa?
It's funny, isn't it?
Camping ya.
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all,
Kilo waktu
this is
pertama
the sort
kali
of thing I was rebelling against when
petualangan
I
sama
ran
si
away from
Alphen nih
home,
nggak nyangka dia
right?
bakal
I'm sure Zephyr would
pergi
be
ke
proud if he knew what his son
Lenegis.
was doing right now.
Iya sih, gue juga nggak nyangka sih. Gue kira di gamenya itu
We're
cuma
defying the
bakal
order of things that
ngalahin
have
5 lord
persisted for
doang ya, tapi
300
ternyata
years.
sampai ke
Deep down,
luar angkasanya
I
gitu
knew our
guys.
journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dahna.
No offense to Shionne and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, Our aim is to ensure
Wah
that both
gila ya, ini bener-bener
Lenegis
kita
and the
ke
Renan
markas
homeworld leave
besar
Dahna
musuhnya
alone
guys.
for good.
Bener-bener ke markas utamanya ya.
I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Gue udah feeling nanti
Is there
bosnya
no
tuh
way we
bakal
can
si
talk
cewek
them
itu
into
guys.
leaving us alone?
Si siapa? Red Woman itu ya. Terus sebenernya gue masih penasaran
The
tuh
people
sebenarnya
of
dia siapa
Lenegis?
nih. Dia bisa tahu kekuatannya si Alpha,
I mean,
bisa tahu kekuatannya
we
si
found a way to
Shionne
make it
juga,
work
bisa
with
punya
Shionne and Dohalim, right?
Master Core yang dark.
And it's not
darkness
just
ya.
us. If places like Menuju can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dahna. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dahna. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Dahnans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dahna. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
By the way, Shionne mana
Don't
sih?
forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right.
Dari
If
tadi
we
nggak ada
can
yang
take it
ngomong.
back, then Shionne can
Dari tadi
finally
si-
get
oh
rid of
ini
her
nih. Dari
thorns.
tadi si Shionne diem terus ya. Dia nih
Shionne?
kayaknya ada sesuatu banget guys. Dia kayak nggak nyaman terus gitu dari beberapa part yang lalu ya.
Yeah.
Dari semenjak kita berhasil ngalahin si Volran sih. Itu kayak nggak tenang banget ya. Ada sesuatu nih kayak di dalam pikiran dia ya. Nah kan. Pada tiduran ya karena kelamaan guys nunggu si pesawatnya siap.
Where?
Where?
Shionne?
Nah kan, bener kan? Si Shionne hilang nih. Mana dia? Dia di pesawatnya ya?
Shionne. Shionne!
Kenapa nih?
It's your thorns? But why?
Oh my god. Crash Maidennya keluar ya?
You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Oh, dia pakai kekuatan Maidennya itu untuk... Wait, kok ditodong?
Stay
Dia pakai
out of
kekuatan
my way.
Maidennya itu untuk nahan kutukan tolerance-nya dia itu ya. Ini kenapa kita ditodong ini?
Wait a second. Are you
Wait a
planning to
second,
go
are you
alone?
planning to go alone?
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
Oh my god, kayaknya si Shionne pengen pergi ke Lenegis sendiri ya.
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again.
Move or I'll shoot.
Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Pasti nggak ditembak ya kan? Orang dia suka sama si Alphen. Nah kan? Malah nangis. Wih, udah pada bangun. Ini kenapa ya si Shionne pengen pergi sendiri gitu? Udah jelas-jelas kita bakal ke markas musuhnya, dia sendiri tuh gak bakal bisa apa-apa
Do you
gitu.
remember back when I was stabbed?
Do you remember back when I was stabbed by Volran? Oh,
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
that wasn't the first time?
The first time.
The first time when I was,
Was when I was only a child.
Oke.
After that, no matter how
Oh,
often,
jadi si Shionne kan waktu itu sempat ditusuk sama si Volran ya, tapi katanya itu bukan pertama kali guys, dia sebelumnya udah pernah.
So you're immortal? How's that even...
Tapi tetap aja setelah ditusuk, si Shionne ini
I believe you,
nggak
Shionne.
bisa dibunuh ya.
But tell me how.
Kenapa ya?
How is something like that possible?
my thorns,
Oh my thorns.
they're me, but at the
They're
same
me, but
time
at the
not.
same time not.
They're part of me.
Oh, kayaknya si kutukannya itu ngebikin si
I
Shionne
have
nggak
no
bisa mati
idea
guys.
why. But my
But my
thorns
thorns
will never let me die.
Oh iya bener nih.
At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
You can die before your death.
When my thorns free themselves.
When my thorns free
It will be
themselves,
my death.
it will be my death. Okay. Jadi kalau si
I've seen
Shionne
A darkness that
terlepas
swallows up
dari
everything
kutukannya itu
until
dia bakal
nothing
mati, guys.
remains.
Nah terus
It's a vision of
selama ini
oblivion
kita
I
ngumpulin
can't
Rena
escape.
Salma.
I want to believe it's all just a bad dream.
Buat keburu si Shionne dong.
But no matter what I
Dia
tell
juga.
myself, I know it's not.
Nah terus gimana dong? Jadi dia harus seumur hidup,
Wait. The
seumur
whole
hidupnya
reason
ini harus
you needed the Rena Salma was to
terkutuk
get
gitu
rid
loh,
of your
gimana ya?
thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have
You
been,
have been with us fighting
desperately
desperately to die. Oh gila.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Wah gila sih, ini gila sih. Ini sedih sih ya. Jadi selama ini kita semua kan berusaha ngalahin Lord-Lordnya supaya kita bisa hidup dengan tenang kan.
Yet.
Tapi beda, si Shionne tuh beda guys. Dia
We'll
tuh
find a way to save you.
berusaha untuk ngumpulin
There's still
semua
time
Master
to.
Core-nya itu supaya dia bisa mati dengan tenang gitu guys.
It's
Terlepas dari
pointless.
si
Why?
Because the
ya,
darkness won't just consume
kutukannya
me.
itu ya.
The truth is,
The truth is it will consume,
it will consume all of
existence
existence
as
as
well.
well. It was
Oh,
only
jadi
a suspicion at first.
kayaknya nih kalau si Shionne mati dan dia
Ever since the
gagal
Red
untuk
Woman triggered my
ngilangin
maiden
kutukannya sebelum dia mati,
I've been more
dan
certain than
kutukannya ini
ever
bakal
before.
ngancurin semuanya nih guys. Tapi kalau misalnya dia berhasil pakai si Rena Salma untuk
was
ngilangin
then.
kutukannya, kayaknya kutukannya bakal hilang
And I
dan kayaknya
finally
dunianya
came
bakal
to
selamat
realize.
gitu ya.
My powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis. When the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
Wah gila sih. Jadi semenjak si Lenegis nembakin the wedge itu guys ya, nembakin alat itu ya, Shionne ini katanya kutukannya tuh semakin gila guys, semakin kuat ya. Dan suatu saat nanti kayaknya si Shionne bakal gak bisa ngontrol kekuatan itu, si kutukannya itu ya.
That's too much. It's
Wah
way
gila ini
too much.
sedih banget nih.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Dahnans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met.
Wah,
I wouldn't have to feel this way.
jadi
Alvin?
di Shionne tuh awalnya dia nggak peduli guys. Ya dia tuh pokoknya mau mati aja gitu guys. Tapi yang penting dia berhasil ngilangin si kekuatan Thorn-nya itu. Tapi sekarang semenjak dia ketemu sama si Alvan sama yang lain itu ya, dia jadi nggak pengen mati gitu guys. Karena sekarang dia udah punya temen gitu ya.
I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else too.
Matanya udah berair-air guys.
Shionne, what do you want? It's your decision ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No. You won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well.
Gila sih.
I want to be a force for good, not hate.
Nah, sekarang yang bikin penasaran tuh kutukan itu sebenarnya apa ya?
And
Kenapa
me
si
too.
Shionne pertama kali bisa dapat
I
kutukannya
meant
itu?
it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys.
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shionne is the descendant of a
Shionne
maiden
is the
from
descendant
300
of
years
the maiden.
ago. Given
Okay.
the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible, though I suspect the nature of the sovereign is connected somehow.
Oke, jadi kata si Halim ada kemungkinan ya si Shionne ini bisa diselamatin guys, tapi gua nggak tahu gimana caranya. Kayaknya kita harus menuju ke Lenegis dulu pertama-tama ya.
No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
Ini ada background musiknya guys, gua takutnya ntar gak bisa dimasukin guys ya ini ya. Mungkin kalau misalnya kena copyright gue bakal mute, tapi tetap aja si gambarnya gue bakal kasih lihat guys. Jadi si Tales of Arise ini lagunya ada dua ya, ada yang opening yang pertama sama opening yang kedua guys. Yang opening yang kedua tuh bagus juga lagunya. Kalau kalian mau lihat cari aja di YouTube, ada Tales of Arise opening 2, tapi gue gak bisa masukin guys karena kemungkinan bakal kena copyright ya. Nangis dong si Shionne. Akhirnya lepas juga dia ya. Selama ini dipendem-pendem guys. On to Lenegis, let's go! Oke guys, talk to the other party members. Oke, sekarang kita ngobrol semuanya ya.
The end of the world.
Baru ngobrol dulu nih. The end
That's
of the
hard to
world. It's
believe,
hard to
isn't
believe,
it?
isn't it?
I believe Shionne is telling the truth.
What about you?
What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the
Kayaknya
world.
kita bakal ngobrol-ngobrol dulu sama
But those
semuanya
really are the
persiapan sebelum
stakes we
kita berangkat
face.
ninggalin planet Dahna.
No, I understand. Even Shionne doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Oke.
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dahna's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shionne in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renan would normally have inside.
So you think those thorns might be alive too?
Jadi ada kemungkinan kata
That
si
their
Halim si
will
thorns
is what
ini juga
keeps her from
karena
dying?
menyimpan
But
banyak
why
banget
would they
astral
want to
energi.
destroy the
Dia
entire
punya
world?
nyawanya sendiri ya. Alive
As
guys.
for that,
Dia punya
I really
kesadarannya
cannot
sendiri.
say
gitu.
for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth, especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Halim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Oke.
Right.
Lanjut guys, orang kedua siapa nih? Sarah.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a
You
hit
took
from
a
those
hit from
thorns
those
again,
thorns again,
didn't
didn't
you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shionne's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, That doesn't mean Shionne
Kisara
wants to
nanyain
have
si
to see
Alphen
you get
kenapa
hurt
gak
by her
tadi kan
thorns, you
kena
know.
listriknya si Shionne.
Shionne doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on. And you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shionne what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams. But a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it.
Oke, Rinwell nih, apa lo ya? Rinwell.
Can't sleep?
Can sleep.
After
Ini
everything
kita
we just
ngobrol
heard,
sama-sama
how
party
could I?
membernya, mulai dari yang terakhir kita
Fair
temuin
enough.
sampai ke yang pertama paling pertama
Shionne's
kita
had to
temuin
deal
guys.
with
Jadi dari
so much on her
Dohalim,
own.
Kisara,
Even when we were all laughing and celebrating,
harusnya lo
she
dulu
just
tadi ya.
kept quiet and
Rinwell,
didn't say
baru ke
anything.
Shionne terakhir pasti.
I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good.
Akhirnya semua sadar ya sebenarnya si Shionne
Even
tuh
then,
orang kayak apa guys. Dia
She
tuh
didn't
bener-bener
think she could say anything to us about it.
tersiksa banget ya karena kehidupannya itu guys.
She was so alone this entire time.
Dia sebenarnya cuma pengen hidup
How
tenang
could I
biasa,
call her a friend
tapi
and yet be
karena
so
kutukannya ini
completely
dia
blind
bahkan
to
nggak bisa
everything
pegang
she was
orang aja dia
going
nggak bisa
through?
guys.
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way, but over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shionne's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Oke,
Did you know?
lo nih, did you know?
You mean about Shionne?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never
Sebenarnya selama
quite
ini juga
figure
kita
out
tahu
what
ya,
it was.
ada sesuatu yang ngeganggu pikirannya
You?
si Shionne, tapi kita
But
belum tahu
you're
apa
the one always
ternyata
looking out for her, aren't you?
kasusnya sih sebesar ini nih.
That's what I thought.
Shionne,
But in reality, I
harus
didn't
meninggal ya,
understand
gitu
it
ya.
all.
Tapi
What
semoga
I
aja
thought was
di
helping
Lenegis
and
kita
being
nemuin
there
cara
for
supaya
her
dia bisa tetap hidup
was
guys
actually
dan
just
kutukan
driving her
dihilangin
into
ya.
a corner.
At least
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her. No matter what.
yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shionne, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shionne. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point. But I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is.
Udah? Talk to Shionne? Shionne di mana Shionne? Oh, Shionne terakhir di sini nih guys. Dia lagi lihat pemandangannya. Oh, kalau Shionne mah ada cutscene-nya dong. Gila sih. Nih dua protagonis ya,
you're
karakter
doing
utama
alright.
dari Tales of Arise, Shionne Alphen.
I seem to cause nothing but worry.
Jadi si Shionne
As
itu
much
dari
as I
awal
try to look like I
berlagak
have
cuek
things under
gitu guys.
control,
Judas itu ternyata ya
everyone
banyak
still
alasannya ya,
worries
karena dia
about
tuh
me.
nggak mau punya hubungan sama orang gitu guys, karena dia itu
You're
pada
not the
akhirnya
only
harus
one.
mati gitu ya. Dia ngerasanya gitu.
Hey, do you remember the first
Do you
time
remember
you
the
said I
first
was
time
your
you said
friend?
I was your friend? No. Kapan deh?
When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Dahnans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend,
waktu ketemu sama
it
si
just
Deadime.
shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end.
Oh iya tuh bener
I
kan.
thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword
Di
and to
awal
obtain
tuh
the
si
Rena's
Shionne
Alma.
cuman peralat nih
But
si
after that
orang-orang ini.
day, one
Supaya
time
dia bisa
became
ngilangin
two.
kutukan dia, tapi
And before I
seiring
knew it,
berjalannya waktu
you'd made
dia
a habit
semakin
of
dekat
calling
sama
me and
party
Dohalim your
membernya dan
friends.
sekarang jadi teman lah.
It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then,
Jadi si Shionne ini emang
I
dari
never
dulu
even dreamed
temennya
I could
sedikit
have
banget
that.
ya, Dur. Dia nggak punya teman guys karena ya kutukannya dia ini. Jadi begitu si Alphen ngomong kalau dia ini
I
temannya si
didn't want to
Alphen,
die and lose you all.
dia
But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
seneng banget lah dia gitu.
Shionne.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that.
I see.
Don't worry, it's okay.
Not
I'm
planning
not
on dying
planning on
anymore.
dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dahna and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shionne. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Dahnans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Nice, gentleman.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well
sekarang
rested?
saatnya kayak kita
Then let's
cabut
go.
aja guys pakai si
We depart for Lenegis.
kapalnya ini ya, pesawatnya ini guys. Take off. Let's go. Ini dia ya. Oke, kita udah di dalam pesawatnya nih. Ternyata interiornya gede
Well,
juga ya.
it's the moment of truth.
Udah dari luar
This lady
kelihatannya kayak
better
kecil
hold
gitu guys,
together
kayak
once
pesawat.
we're up in the air.
La,
Jet
don't
biasa
say
ya,
that.
ternyata
You're
di
going to
dalamnya
jinx
lebih gede.
us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right?
Oh.
I was thinking something like,
Fall Knights.
huh?
It means owl in the ancient
Oh,
tongue.
ini mereka lagi
Literally,
namain pesawatnya
the
ya.
one
Pesawatnya
drawn to the
dinamain All
skies.
Knights.
I
Oke
like
lah.
it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but, well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
All Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dahna alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shionne's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good?
Let's go.
All right.
Wah, ini sih
Let's go.
endgame banget ya udah ya. Wih, langsung cabut dong. Oh, pesawatnya warna putih ya? Tadi pas lagi masih ditanamin sama tanaman itu warnanya kayak hitam guys. Ternyata putih ya. Ini tadi gelap juga ya malam. Gila. Ini kita bener-bener di luar angkasa guys ini.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
By the way, kita masuk ke Lenegis nggak ketahuan apa ya? Ada pesawat yang masuk
just look at it. The whole of existence crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Dahnans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Okay.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
Oh, ini
In that case,
autopilot ya,
she's all yours.
Your party disbanded guys. Ini
Everything okay,
kita
Shionne?
suruh ngobrol lagi
You
seriusan.
seem a little different.
Kita ngobrol lagi sama Shionne dulu.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh?
Homecoming.
What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dahna.
Let's just say, I don't
have
have many happy
memories.
memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
Jadi dulu di
You mean
Rena
they
itu
experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to
di
solve.
treatment ya,
They poked and prodded
diobatin, tapi
me, trying to
sebenarnya itu bukan
figure out
diobatin,
what
guys.
triggered my
Sebenarnya
thorns or changed the form they
eksperimen
took.
yang diteliti, guys,
Day in
tentang
and
si
day out, every
Dahna itu
single
sama
day,
orang-orang
one
Rena.
test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever
Parah
one of
banget ya,
them
berarti
touched my
orang-orang Rena itu
skin.
bener-bener parah guys. Bahkan
How could I forget it?
sama orangnya dia sendiri
Reeling
aja
from the
kayak
pain,
gitu ya.
like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Wih.
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shionne. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Gue kira mau dipegang guys. Listriknya muncul lagi. Lanjut ke Dohalim. Wah ini part kali ini kita bener-bener ngobrol terus ya.
No.
Kita bener-bener lihat terus ceritanya nih guys. Dan yang paling penting tuh Ternyata kita tahu
You mean
rahasia
since you became a
kutukannya si
lord and
Shionne.
left Lenegis?
Itu
I
ternyata
guess even
selama
someone
ini
like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any
berusaha
other.
untuk bunuh diri ya,
Tell me,
intinya sebenarnya gitu si Shionne tuh.
You too have a history with
Tapi
Lenegis.
sebelum dia mati,
A
dia
traumatic
harus
one,
ngilangin
no less.
kutukannya dulu gitu.
This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that
Parah sih,
frighten you?
pas sebelum kita
Wah.
berangkat tuh si Shionne apa nangis ya.
It is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's
Ini
no
bener-bener kita
changing
udah mau
that.
ke endgame banget guys.
But the
Ini paling
future's
kita
what
tinggal
we
beberapa
make
bos
it.
lagi ya sebelum
I
tamat.
see.
Yang gue penasaran bos
Jauh.
terakhir siapa.
Forgive me. I was
Terus-
wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to
Kayaknya
address. Come back and speak
akhirnya
to
tuh
me
kita
when you
bakal
finish
di
looking
ini
around the
sih
ship.
guys. Gue nggak tahu kita bakal ke planet Rena atau enggak. Cuma kita coba aja guys, lanjutin terus ceritanya ya. Ini ada si Law sama si Greenwell.
Hey, Alvin, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and
Hey, shut up!
Apa nih, apa
What's
nih?
got Law all flustered?
only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship too.
Hey, I never said I was
Si Law
scared.
ketakutan ternyata dia
I
takut
just think
terbang
it's,
guys.
you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dahna in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alvin, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alvin. It's just wrong, okay?
Oke. Berarti tinggal Kisara ya. Kisara di mana? Di belakang mat?
You okay?
You okay?
Feeling airsick?
Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank
dia nggak
goodness.
ini ya. Dia
Glad to
nggak
hear
sisik
it.
guys, nggak
That
mabuk
device
ya
there caught your
karena
eye, huh?
di pesawatnya
I
itu
was just
smooth
wondering
banget,
what it
nggak kayak
is.
waktu kita
It
naik
looks
kapal
big
guys,
enough to
dia
fit
kena
a
mabuk
person
laut dia.
inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes
Oh,
injuries and
healing
illnesses.
pod.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely
Nanti
come
kan
in
dia bisa
handy
nge-heal di
if any
sini
of
deh
us
kalau
get
gitu ya.
injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite
Oh,
some
kemungkinan
lion,
berarti si
alright.
Alphen itu dia selama 300
But
tahun
still,
dia tidur di potnya
Whether
itu
you
guys.
meant to or
Di
not,
healing
I sure
podnya itu
am
ya.
glad that it's this century that you
Jadi healing
finally
podnya
woke
itu
up in.
mirip juga sama cryo sleep ya.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menuju? About the dream of coexistence and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. The world's bigger than just Menuju. My dream is for all Dahnans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Oke guys, jadi di part kali ini kita udah nemuin starshipnya dan kita juga udah tahu lebih banyak tentang kutukannya si Shionne. Sekarang nih kita udah di dalam starshipnya dan lagi menuju ke Lenegis. Next part kita bakal mendarat di Lenegis ya. Oke, sampai di sini dulu videonya. Thanks banget buat semuanya yang udah nonton dan support terus. Buat kalian yang suka jangan lupa like, share, and subscribe ya. Hope you enjoy the gameplay and thank you very much for watching.